access to relevant data in a way that AI can consume is a critical component of how one advances research, how one advances sort of their understanding of markets. So data, I don't need to say, it is pretty much the lifeblood of AI. So no data, no AI party.
Welcome to Data and AI Mastery, the podcast where we bring you cutting-edge insights, practical advice, and inspiring stories from the leaders shaping the future of data and AI across the globe. I'm your host, Raoul-Gabriel Urma, founder of Cambridge Spark, the leader in transformational data and AI upskilling, career development, and progression. In each episode, I will be diving into real-world case studies of companies harnessing the power of AI to drive innovation, reduce costs, and create new business opportunities. So whether you are an aspiring data scientist, AI engineer, or seasoned executive, this show is designed to give you the tools and knowledge to stay ahead in a world where data is transforming every aspect of business. Stay ahead, stay inspired, stay masterful. Welcome to Data and AI Mastery. Good morning, Simona. How are you?
Good morning, Raoul. Really well. And you?
Amazing. I'm really looking forward to a conversation, Simona. I've known you for a long time, so it's great to finally be able to interview you today. Well, let's do it. So you have a really special background, Simona. So you're the global CEO of solutions at BlackRock's, so working with huge scale. But what I find also really interesting, you've published books for children, educational books. Clearly very passionate about education. You also teach at Cambridge in the Faculty of Economics. So what a rich blend of experience. But I thought maybe to get us started, just to get to know you a little bit better for the audience. So you grew up in Italy. You studied economics at Cambridge, and you built a career throughout the world, I think Hong Kong, London, and New York. So I'd love to find out a bit more about your experience and how you think it's shaped, your perspective on the markets today.
Well, first of all, having had the opportunity to work all over the world has been an incredible privilege, both at a professional level as well as at a personal level. It has shaped the way I look at market in many ways, but three in particular deserve focus. I mean, first of all, the importance of a global reach. When I look around the world, I see opportunities. I mean, there is great talent, there are great companies, great entrepreneurs all over the world. So I think as investor, it's absolutely critical to have the opportunity to really invest globally. The second consideration is also the importance of the local knowledge. So it's great to have the global reach, but it's important to have the local knowledge so that one can really identify this opportunity, be able to identify the relevant data to understand companies and economies at the local level. And finally, of course, is talent. If I think about, as an investor, the importance of AI and how we build teams that will make the most of AI, it's critical to have talent with complementary skills. And I think one of the critical aspects of that complementarity is indeed a different cultural perspective, which is, again, something else that I've come to appreciate more and more thanks to the incredible privilege of having studied and worked in many different parts of the world.
That really resonates. I really agree that we learn from different perspectives from all around the world and take the best bit. So that leads me nicely to, I guess, the next question. Speaking of perspectives, you've had a phenomenal career. You're in industry, but also in academia, teaching, at the Faculty of Economics in Cambridge, which is really, really cool. I'd love to understand your perspective around what do you think one or the other misses, or what can we learn from, either industry or academia? Because surely it must be two very different perspectives about how we solve problems in the world.
It is indeed a different perspective, but what I find fascinating is actually what they have in common, in particularly as we think about the adoption of AI. I think the centrality of data is a challenge and an opportunity, whether you're looking at it from the perspective of academia or the financial services industry. I mean, data in particular, sort of access to relevant data in a way that AI can consume, is a critical component of how one advances research, how one advances sort of their understanding of markets. So data, I don't need to say, it is pretty much the lifeblood of AI. So No data, no AI party.
Yeah, that's great. I like that. It's true. The common thread ultimately is if you do research, you need data to test your hypothesis, and in the real world in industry, you also need data to understand the market, your customers. So that's kind of like the common thread. I know you feel really strong about having a good data infrastructure, good data quality and governance in order to fuel really interesting AI use cases. So, could you tell us a little bit more about your perspective, around like what good data infrastructure looks like in practice? Because you're literally overseeing, I think, hundreds of billions in mandates. So that's kind of like enormous scale. So, what does good look like in an environment like that?
Well, good looks like as follows. It's key to have data that is accessible, that is clean, and that is relevant. I mean, we shouldn't equate the fact of having a lot of data with necessarily all of that data being relevant. So I think this point about accessibility, quality, effectively being clean sort of data, and the relevance point, which is absolutely key. I think it's important to underscore, though, that when we are talking about the application of AI to the investment management industry, this isn't just about efficiency at scale, and obviously that's an important aspect of it, but it's also, and equally importantly, about how we use data and AI to identify additional insights that can help us generate even more resilient returns for our clients. And this aspect of how we use data and AI for identifying investment insights is actually the key focus for me, both in the academic sense as well as in my sort of work in the financial services industry. So, for example, we are now in a position to do sort of sentiment analysis for central bank speeches all around the world. So, language is no longer a barrier the way it used to be. Or we can now leverage data and AI to enhance the way we do thematic investing, which is a critical aspect of our process. So historically, people have tended to do thematic investing by looking at whether a particular company belonged to a sector that people tended to associate with a particular theme. Nowadays, we can actually use AI on a large corpus of, importantly, relevant data to identify companies that may be linked to a particular theme, regardless of the sector that they actually sit in. So I think there are two important aspects as we think about the financial industry, and particularly the investment management industry journey into AI. This isn't just about scale and efficiency, but it's also about gaining better insights to deliver for clients. And I know I'm going to sound like a broken record, but relevant data is the key to unlock both.
Great. I think that's a fantastic message because it's true. We often hear, in the industry that there's a big focus on productivity, efficiency, cost, and so on. But that feels almost like it's kind of like boring or missed opportunity, isn't it? Like, how do you think about AI to your business? And in your case, applying the technology to drive better insights, to get better return for your customers feels like quite an exciting place to to think about how AI could be useful. So how do you think it's changed over the years? Because even 10 years ago we were talking about sentiment analysis, right? Perhaps with like maybe more traditional natural language processing techniques. In your views now with generative AI in particular, do you feel that things are vastly different, or is it more of the same? Where do you sit on that spectrum?
I would actually take a step back. So, if we think about AI as an academic discipline, that has been around since the 1950s. So, that discipline per se is not new. We have used machine learning in the financial industry for a fairly long time. And even when we talk about generative AI, it's still a relatively broad umbrella that could include everything from frontier model to much quote unquote sort of smaller domain specific models. And the good news is that there is a role for all of these techniques. And if we look at the generative AI point, especially in a lot of the debate around frontier model versus small models, which I mean, they're not small by any of objective standards. I mean, these are orders of magnitude bigger than anything I could have even imagined when I was an undergraduate, which admittedly is a long time ago. But anyway, moving swiftly on, I think when we think about AI and specifically around generative AI, it is important for for all of us to understand when is appropriate to use one model versus another. I mean, the analogy that I often quote is don't use the Ferrari when a Fiat 500 may do, because the two have different running costs, and you need the Ferrari for certain tasks, for certain type of roads, but you are better off with the Fiat 500 if all you're doing is to go to the supermarket down the road. So there is going to be a learning aspect to this, which is really we all collectively need to learn what model, what technique is most suited, also considering the neural cost depending on what we're trying to do.
I love the Italian analogy here. That's great. And
I'm a very proud Italian. What can I say?
amazing, amazing. I'll remember this one. So I mean, what you say really resonate. It's almost like, now with generative AI, it's like you have a hammer and everything looks like a nail. But I like you point that, there are still specialist machine learning techniques and models that maybe are smaller, more efficient, and actually easier to reason about for specific use cases. So we should consider the right car for the right road situation, right? So that's really great. Look, we've talked a lot about AI, but I know one huge interest of yours is education, Simona. So I thought it'd be really interesting maybe for us to talk about your perspective on why education matters and the future of education in the context where AI is automating a lot of tasks and is making expertise and knowledge super accessible. So, I mean, first of all, you teach AI applied to finance at Cambridge. You've taught at the University College London, and you've also funded a scholarship out of your own pocket at Murray Edwards. Why such a passion?
It's a very personal thing for me, and it comes from my own life journey. So I'm the first person in my family to have the opportunity to go to university. My grandmother was illiterate. And if I'm here today, it's thanks to the scholarship I received from a very young age. So I'm definitely a beneficiary of the kindness of strangers. So if somebody as privileged as me, that I had this opportunity thanks to the generosity of others, doesn't give back, who should? So I think that the scholarship program is just a small way of giving back for the tremendous opportunities that have been given to me. And furthermore, it's extremely rewarding to see the opportunities that the scholarship has opened to the recipients. So I've had the privilege of meeting some of them and see the tremendous contributions that they are doing to science in areas as different as quantum computing and neuroscience. So it's a tremendous feeling of to see how much one can have a positive impact by giving opportunities through scholarship to really talented individuals.
On top of that, you're also somehow finding time to teach the next generation. In the lecture rooms. So why the passion for teaching on top of giving back?
First of all, teaching is a fantastic way of ensuring that one has really learned something. I mean, there is a very famous quote by Feynman, which does not relate quite to university, but I think the spirit is the same. If you cannot explain something to, I think it was a 6-year-old, you haven't really understood it yourself. Now, in fairness, if you can teach, it's a way of internalizing things, and it's also a way that forces us to stay up to date, because if you think about teaching, in particular AI applied to finance, that is a fantastic mechanism to make sure that one is always up to speed with what is happening in this space.
I hope you're enjoying today's conversation. If you're finding the insights useful, please do take a moment to subscribe to the Data and AI Mastery podcast and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube. Every new follow helps us reach more people and shed the incredible work being done by today's data and AI leader. All right, let's go back to the episode. So I guess my next question, if we bring it back to the world of AI, clearly skills, knowledge are potentially, changing quite quickly in terms of what we expect from someone. So where do you think are the biggest opportunities for upskilling based on, this experience of working with professionals and also students at university and potentially children?
So when I think of the skill set that we will need to thrive in a world where AI is more present, and I use the word thrive and not survive intentionally. So what are these skill set? Well, I tend to think of them as a pyramid. At the foundational level of the pyramid, what we have is, let's call it the skill that you need to interface with the technology, prompting, to say it differently. And the good news there is that prompting is a skill that is relatively easy to train and to learn. It's just a matter of discipline, of having the discipline to practice that skill on a regular basis. It's a bit like you go to the gym. You need to build your muscle memory to use this technology. The second layer is critical thinking and the ability to work with others. And the two things go together. Why? Well, the more complex, pervasive this model become, the more we need to have a way of understanding whether the output that come out of these models are correct or not. This is why critical thinking is so key. But to be fair, none of us has competencies across all disciplines. So to exercise that critical thinking, we need to combine expertise from very different domains and different perspectives, which is why the ability to work with others become even more critical in a world where AI is prevalent. And then at the top of the pyramid, there is the call it creative thinking, the ability to think out of the box, to reimagine processes. So if we want to see the really big transformation, what we need to do is effectively rethink how we generate a particular outcome or particular output by leveraging the technology. And that means effectively reimagining and re-engineering a lot of those processes. And the skill of creative thinking, thinking out of the box, is something that unfortunately is more difficult to train. As children, we have actually that ability to think more out of the box than we do as adults. So perhaps one of the things that all of us need to work on is to retain our inner child creativity and ability to think out of the box to make the most out of AI.
If I take you to maybe the job market, right? Because right now there's obviously, some concerns with AI. One can argue that universities have traditionally been set up to pass on knowledge to students, so they're more employable. Knowledge now is becoming more commoditized, access to expertise much more accessible. So one argument is that AI poses a threat to jobs, but I believe, Simona, you see it differently, particularly when it comes to maybe widening opportunities. So could you walk us through your thinking a little bit?
Yeah, the debate around the impact of AI on job is unfortunately cast in very polarized terms, and the reality is, as often the case, somewhat more nuanced. I mean, first of all, we need to acknowledge that we are very much at the beginning of the AI adoption journey, and so the impact of AI on macro, be it on jobs and inflation on growth, is still sort of fairly uncertain. When it comes specifically to the impact of job, I think we need at least to highlight a number of observation, starting with the fact that our analytical framework is very much focused on analyzing tasks. So effectively, a lot of the studies that we see on the impact of AI on jobs look at specific tasks and ask the question, to what extent could this specific task be replaced by AI? And the reality is that a job is made of many tasks. And so the fact that one task may be partially or fully automated by AI does not necessarily mean that all the tasks will be. And sometimes actually the combination of tasks is such that it's very difficult to disentangle one from the other. And furthermore, there could be really good economic argument for not going for the substitution, because as we talk more and more about tokenomics, using AI is not free, and so it's not always the most economically viable option to use AI for a particular task. And furthermore, I think it's important to acknowledge that whenever we look at technological transformations in history, it is true that certain jobs may no longer be needed, but it's also true that then many new jobs were created and became relevant. And the truth is that our analytical framework is not enabling us right now to predict which new jobs will be generated because of the use of AI. So this is why, as we think about the impact of AI on jobs and skills, what we should be focusing more is the skill set that we will likely need in a world where AI is much more prevalent, as this is the best way to prepare for a future and make sure that we can make the most of the opportunities that AI will make available.
Great. Great. I love your point that maybe the analytical framework right now is a bit too simplistic when it comes to modeling jobs. And rather than focusing on task automation, let's focus on the skill set that transfers across every sort of profession and jobs. This is where we'll get the most value. That's really interesting. Next, I know you're really passionate and it's a topic close to your heart, financial inclusion. When it comes to what AI can do you think it's going to help financial inclusion or make it worse?
You're spot on. Financial inclusion is something I'm very passionate about. And again, this is rooted in my own personal journey. I come from a family where the relationship with money was mostly about will we have enough to get to the end of the month. And so I'm very passionate about sending a message that investing is not just for rich people. Actually, it matters even more the less money you have. So it's important that financial education and financial opportunities for investing are democratized and more widespread, which is why, among other things, I had the privilege of serving for a number of years as a trustee on my bank, which is a financial education charity. What is the likely impact of AI on financial education and financial inclusion? I mean, one thing is clear when we look at a number of academic studies that have been published earlier this year. It is clear that more and more people are leveraging these tools for financial advice. And this can indeed help to provide financial advice and financial access to a set of demographics that, for a reason or another, currently do not have access to financial advice. As always, one has to use these tools in the right way, asking the right question, having the critical thinking and abilities to make sure that the answers that they obtain are the right answer. But it is encouraging to have an additional route for people that wouldn't otherwise be able to have the financial education, the financial information that they need to make investment and therefore participate in the opportunities that economic growth and markets provide.
So I guess before we go to a quick fire round, and maybe that's the advice, right? If you're really early in your career, finance, data science, what would be like one piece of advice you'd give that, that young person that is entering the AI transformed world?
But in addition to have that sort of student mindset and study to learn, not just study to pass exam, just really learn to learn, so to speak. The other critical element is optimism, and my biggest wish for the next generation is that they keep a positive mindset about the changes around them, because changes create opportunities, and these opportunities are there for them to grab. But they need the positive mindset.
I love it. Keep learning and stay optimistic and open-minded. That's great. Can I take you to a quick fire run of questions, basically short questions?
Let's fire away, literally.
Let's fire away. Well, this one I'm really intrigued. What's one of the misconceptions you think people have about the job of a CIO?
A fascinating point is that many people don't even fully appreciate what CIO stands for. There's always a lot of confusion. Is it what does the I stand for? So it's for the avoidance of doubt. It's a Chief Investment Officer, and the biggest misconception is probably that some people would tend to think that the chief investment officer is the person that takes every single decision, which market we go in, which security we invest in. Whereas our biggest contribution is to make sure that we have the right talent and the right processes to deliver for our clients.
Next, I'd love to get insights from your books, right? Like, what's one lesson that you feel adults should learn?
Never lose the curiosity and never lose the ability to dream that we have as children.
Nice. Goes back to the point you made about optimism. Then, yeah, I really like that one. And what's an AI tool that you couldn't do without these days?
I practice diversification not just in investing, but also in my attitude to tools. So it's quite a broad set of tools that I use. Everything from the Ferrari to the Fiat Cinquecento, to stick to my knowledge.
What an amazing answer. You gotta diversify in the market and in your tools. That's beautiful. Um, Great. Now, couple of more personal one. What's your favorite music genre?
Jazz.
Jazz. Ah, really cool. As an Italian who has traveled the world, probably been to many, many cities, where does one find the best coffee?
It's obviously in Italy. I would say Rome.
Rome. Fantastic. I'll make sure to get your recommendation. I'll be in Rome end of September, actually.
I'll make sure to send some.
And next, what was your favorite subject at school?
Maths.
I had a feeling. I had a feeling.
That was an easy one to predict, I guess. But here you go.
And why do you think? Do you think maths is still relevant today? And why do you think so?
Math is, if anything, even more relevant today than it was. But math is a language. It's a language that we can use to explain things, and I think the need for explanation is even more important in a world where these models become more and more complex.
Fantastic. Well, what a great way to conclude the episode today, Simona. It's been a real pleasure to have you on the show. I've really loved my conversation with Simona. I mean, she's so charismatic and so passionate about education. So it was a real pleasure. There's so many nuggets out of our conversation. I think the first one we discussed, in the world of AI, what are the skills that are worth investing in and thinking about? And Simona looks at it in 3 layers: prompting, the ability to work with AI system and ask questions and get output. But the next layer is where things get really interesting, is critical thinking, the ability to challenge the output, verify it, understand the assumptions, and utilize that human judgment. And the third one, which is arguably even more important in the world of AI, is creative thinking, that skill set that directly translate in the professional world, reimagining processes, coming up with new solutions for your customers, so being creative. So those are the 3 layers. And you really need to invest in all 3 in order to set yourself up for success in a fast-moving environment like today. So that was really interesting discussion. Next, we deep dive a little bit in the world of data infrastructure, machine learning models, and so on. And she made a really great point. If you have a Ferrari and a supercar and a Fiat 500, you're not going to use your Ferrari or your supercar all the time for all roads, right? So today, generative AI looks like a Ferrari. It doesn't mean that you have to use it everywhere. And frankly, it will not be suitable on a bumpy road, for example. So you're often better off with your Fiat 500 that is more nimble and the right tool for the right job. So in the world of AI, machine learning models, small models, fine-tuned models should be considered on top of generative AI that also should be considered, but different problems, different solutions. And finally, I really loved her guidance for the next generation. Keep on learning, be a student of the world, and stay optimistic. And that combination will set you up for success in a fast-moving world. Thank you, everybody, and see you on the next episode. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Data and AI Mastery. If you found value in today's discussion, make sure to subscribe so you never miss an insight from the leaders driving the future of data and AI. And if you're a data and AI leader looking to upskill your workforce with the fundamental data and AI skills to transform your business, Cambridge Spark is here to guide you every step of the way. Be sure to reach out to us on LinkedIn or on our website, cambridgespark.com. Until then, be sure to keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible with data, and remember, mastery comes with continued learning and action. Until next time, stay ahead, stay inspired, and stay masterful.